Hi again, I'm Nikki. Thank you very much as always for clicking on my video. I greatly appreciate it. You can see I'm at the park today. Guess what I have? What's in the bag? Ooh. Ooh. Oh look, it's the drone. Ooh. And of course my Sony camera, but you know, hey. So, as you can see, it literally fits into the palm of my hand. That just proves on how small it is. Anybody's wondering what the writing is on top, that is my operator ID. Here in the UK we have to have an operator ID for all drones. This is general from the CAA, which is the Civil Aviation Authority. If I remember rightly, I've got my acronyms right. Basically, anything that flies has to have an ID. So whether that's anything such as small, like the drone here, which by the way, my community have gone and christened Flyvi, which cute, I know. But anything that flies, basically, whether it be a drone or a plane, has to have an ID. If your drone is under 250 grams, as you can see here, this is 249. If it is under 250, you technically don't need a flyer license for it, but because mine's 5 under, and I know what police are like around here, I decided to get one anyway. They're really quite easy to get. You have to pass a theory test, which is 40 questions, to get the license, and then the license is £10. So it's not a massive deal, but it's... And it also means as well that if I decide to upgrade to a bigger drone, I'm covered anyway because I've got the license. And I keep it folded up on a bit of paper in my bag, should anybody question me. So this is the controller. If anybody's wondering where the sticks are, they're there underneath. And basically I'm going to take those out and screw them in a minute. You can also see a USB-C connection there. Generally that's for charging the controller. The controller came from DJI with a slight charge in it, so I don't need to charge it. And that dangling cable there, which as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, when it focuses, there it is a lightning connection, which basically means you kind of stick your phone in there and you use it as a screen and connect the controller to your phone using the lightning connection. And yeah, you can basically use it as a screen. So anybody's wondering what the buttons are on the front, so we've got this one, which is a pause or a return to home button, which basically means that you can return the drone to where you're standing or where you've located it to. And then I've got the power button, which you press and then you press again to get it to turn on. And then you've got this switch in the middle, which basically is, you've got 3 modes. You've got normal, sport and cine. Sport mode's very fast. Cine mode is very much kind of like a cinematic type thing, and then normal is just generally normal. That's the controls. We've got a button there, which is it basically gives you the option to kind of go I'm not entirely sure what that is, to be fair. I'm going to have to find that out. That is a function button that you can set up to do anything. It's very much like Sony cameras. And then on the top, when we move that, so we've got a button here which records and take photos. So if you're up in the air and you want to take a photo, you just hit that button. And then this is the gimbal button, which is the same as on the OM4, which I have. And you can basically go like up and down and side to side, things like that. So yeah, for those of you as well that was wondering what the code is on the bottom of the controller, that is my operator ID. I am slightly blocking it purely because there is options out there for you to track me by my code. So yeah, I'm not going to let you do that, obviously. why did I decide to get a drone? Well, it's something I've been thinking about for a really long time. I've been watching people like Justine and her sister kind of buy drones and use them for stuff, and like Justine and her sister, I'm very much mad about my cameras, and I kind of thought it might be a nice thing to kind of like, because you can take pictures on the drone as well, which is always nice. So I've always got the option to kind of like get some nice pictures and things like that. Not from round here because this is a park, but like if I went somewhere on the coast or somewhere like that, it'd be nice for that kind of thing. I mean, I know for those of you who probably don't understand things like aerial photography and photography in general, you're probably going, oh, Toby, this is a bit of a gimmick. Why have you wasted your money on this? But I don't feel like it's a waste of money. I feel like it's fun to use. I enjoy using it, and I feel like I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. The other thing is as well is technically here in the UK you have to be at least 13, I think it is, to fly a drone. You have to be 18 to be able to fly the big drones, like the small drones like I've got here. You have to be 13 to technically fly them. And I'd love to be able to teach Aiden to be able to fly it, but I know I'm kind of pushing my license, and it's not something that I'll probably put on YouTube because frankly I don't want my wrist slapped. He said, oh mum, what have you got there? And I said, oh, it's a drone. And he was like, ooh, that looks interesting. So I know he'd want to fly it at some point, but I just think he might be a bit young, and I'm not in the habit of getting my wrist slapped, especially when I've taken a test that states you must be a certain age to fly this. I mean, it'd be like putting a kid in a car. Be like, yeah, there you go, you're 14, you can drive. They technically can. They're not allowed. I mean, Aiden could technically fly this. I'm pretty sure that he would understand how to use the controls, but he's technically not allowed. It's an annoyance, I know it is, because drones are very much kind of like, they're kind of marketed almost like towards two different camps. You've got the camp like me who likes things like technology and cameras and stuff, and then you've got the other one which is like kids and that kind of like. But the thing is though, on the CAA website it does even state that there is a difference between toy drones and drones like mine, and the difference is a camera. So mine has a camera on it, as you know, and toy drones don't. I guess what I might do is kind of like buy him a toy drone to start with, and then if he breaks it, he breaks it, and he doesn't break mine. No, like I started with a small one purely because I wanted to learn how to fly it. Yes, it's still expensive, but it wouldn't feel so bad as if like I'd gone out and bought a really nice kind of like a Mavic or something like that, and then I broke it, and then I would just feel absolutely destroyed. I feel like I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. I've enjoyed it so far. I mean, I've had like a couple of hours with it, and it's been really fun. So I didn't buy mine from DJI. I bought mine from a company called box.co.uk. I've bought stuff from them before. They are a tech company in Birmingham. Shout out to Box. Thank you very much for selling me this drone. This drone was purchased by me. This is not promotional. This is not been funded by Box or anything along those lines. There's no ads in there. So I'm just giving a shout out to Box because they were fantastic. They gave me a free memory card and a free year of NordVPN. NordVPN are also not sponsoring this, but you know, I like their services. Could definitely recommend Box for all your technology needs because they are fantastic. Sorry, I do apologise if my throat sounds scratchy at all. I really don't feel great today. I've got some kind of a weird cold. And you technically don't need a licence here in the UK for flying drones this size. I do recommend that you go to the CAA's website, educate yourself on the rules of and the laws of using a drone. And the other thing I would also recommend is getting an app. So if you get an app, it will show you all like the no-fly zones and what you can do in the country you're currently in. So here in the UK, you can't fly in airport spaces, you can't fly around things like seaports and any kind of things like that. And this is just generally because of airspace. So if you kind of like invade airspace that's set up for people like airplanes or air ambulance or anything like that that flies, then you can get in a lot of trouble. Thankfully things like apps, I think with the DJI app will even probably tell you that you're kind of like in the wrong zone, so that's always good as well. With the DJI Mini too, you will need to download the DJI Fly app, which is the app that they generally recommend for most of their drones. Don't get them mixed up with things like DJI Mimo. DJI Mimo is very much used for their gimbals. I have one, so as you know. As always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of me doing tech stuff or drone stuff or anything along those lines, if you enjoyed this, please hit the like button below because it does make a massive difference. If you're not subscribed and you really like my channel, I'd really appreciate it if you did that. I apologise for the wind, we're in a park, what can I do? And I will see you all next week. Thanks as always for sticking around, and I'll see you then.